Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about something that has very little to do with marketing. I actually want to talk about working and carrying on while you're dealing with grief. I lost my grandmother this past weekend, and it was really hard. It can be numbing, completely numbing at some points. And I was thinking a lot this morning while I was walking about, the fact that most of us will have to deal with this at some point in our careers. We will have to kind of carry on and continue working and leading and, being ourselves and living our full lives while we are dealing with the loss of someone that we love. And it can be hard. It can be just completely paralyzing, right? It's one of the hardest things that human beings go through. So I wanted to share 5 tips that I have for dealing with grief while also carrying on with your life and working. Because, we all need things like this. And this isn't the first time that it's happened in my life, and I've learned some things along the way. Full disclosure, obviously I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm just a human being who leads an org, and works in the startup world. And these are just my personal learnings. They may or may not work for you. But for those of you who find yourselves in a situation where you need something like this, here are my best pieces of advice. So the first thing is to take what time you can. And I say this because not all of us have the luxury of taking a bunch of bereavement leave, right? And even for those of us who do, you might find that creates more anxiety on the back end. You're just worried about what's not getting done, or you just feel like you're in 2 places at once. So take what time you can. When you take that time, really try to feel your feelings as much as you can. When my other grandmother passed last year, I carried on as if nothing had happened at work. I was either scared or, whatever, to talk about it. And, what I find is when you ignore grief, it ends up coming back like a car accident. You feel that pain later, and it's often worse. So if you can, do what you can to feel your feelings while you're taking some time for yourself. For me, it helps to engage in a ritual of some sort, could or could not have anything to do with your own spirituality. But engaging in some ritual to honor the connection that you had with that person and the grief and loss that you're feeling is really helpful. And then talking about it, one of my favorite sayings in life is, if you don't talk it out, you'll act it out. And I find that it's very true. So whoever you have to talk to, your spouse, your best friend, your sibling, your therapist, taking time to actually talk about it, and examine the loss that you feel is really helpful. The second tip that I have is to share what's going on with your boss if you feel comfortable doing so. It's important that they know, you are carrying this weight, this emotional weight, and if you need a moment throughout the week to deal with the loss that you feel, or in the coming weeks or months or whatever it is, for them to know what's going on, I think is really important. I also personally find strength in sharing what I'm going through with my team. For me, I feel like it allows them to be a little bit more human and take the time that they need when they're going through stuff. But it's up to you. It's up to what you feel comfortable with. My best recommendation, though, is to at least share it with your boss. The other tip that I have is to schedule sadness pauses throughout the week, at least, that you're experiencing this loss, maybe for several weeks. What does that mean? Kind of sounds a little silly, right? A sadness pause, but if you can keep your days, especially days that are not in the office, as flexible as possible, so that you can take some time for reflection and for self-care, whatever form that takes. So maybe it's a walk by the water, maybe it's listening to a song that reminds you of that person, or looking at photos, or whatever it is. Maybe toward the end of the day, a couple of days that week, you just block out your calendar and take time to be sad and alone, so that you're honoring your own emotions and your healing process. The fourth tip that I have is to hold on to a talisman. So, some sort of object that represents the connection that you had with that person, whether it's a photograph or an object that they gave you, or a little scrap of paper with the funniest thing they ever said to you on it. Just having a physical item that you can just carry around while you're grieving the loss of this person. I find it quite comforting. Sometimes it's shocking how much emotional weight we can be carrying as human beings, and no one sees it, no one knows, right? But if you have a physical object that is a reminder, maybe a reminder to yourself, like, hey, this is hard and you're making it, I find that very helpful. The last piece of advice that I will give is to use this experience as much as you can to be kinder and more understanding of others. The thing about life is we never know what someone else is going through. And, in the corporate world, we are so dedicated to our jobs, especially in the US. We are completely focused. A lot of our lives are so focused on work. But the thing is someone on your team, your boss, your peers, anyone could be grieving or going through something really hard at any time. And you don't know, right? A lot of people don't want to, or feel like they can't share it. They're scared. So if someone else seems off at some point, ask them what's going on before forming an opinion. Just be kind when you can, and be understanding, because this is really hard. Be kind to yourself and others. Okay, if you're watching this because you're going through something similar, I'm so sorry. It's so hard, and I hope it's helped. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.